Hi and welcome to Let's Talk About. I'm Ryan Rocks and I'm here with Nicky. Do you do a surname?
Surname?
Yeah, do you say I'm Nicky?
Just Nicky.
I went full Ryan Rocks.
You did, and you went right into the you were quite quick in that intro then. You didn't give me a lot of editing.
I didn't give you any time to... No editing time. So we are here to do the podcast as usual, and it's been a minute. It's been a little while, actually, since I've been on.
I think it's 2 months, yeah. It was beginning of June, maybe.
Yeah, so good to see you.
And you?
Yeah, it's nice to have you back in the studio, which is like the hottest place on earth right now. I feel like we're sitting on the surface of the sun. I'm literally dripping in my seat.
Ew. That's not a nice image for anybody.
No, maybe that's not the phrase. I'm turning into a puddle as we speak. I'm melting.
We need heaters on in here in the winter, so you should get aircon or a fan in.
But the thing is, we couldn't record while the fan was on because it would just be
quiet ones.
It would just be
like us.
Yeah, a little bit like us. We're full of hot air. So, what's coming up, Nicky?
So today we are talking about secret talents that won't land us jobs. Have an emotional crisis mid-sandwich. I didn't even read that right. Did I have an emotional have an emotional crisis mid-sandwich? And possibly oversharing again.
Obviously. Yeah, we do a lot of oversharing.
We really do.
The overshare. We are the overshare. So
you peaked there as well.
Was that me? I think that was you.
No, you're closer to the mic than me.
Is that me?
I don't peak. It's fine. What? I can sort it.
That's okay.
Sort it in post.
We can fix it. Fix it in post. So those things. Let's do it. So things we are weirdly good at but can't put on a CV.
Yeah, I've been trying to think about this one. I come up with these questions and now I'm like,
I mean, technically this.
Yeah, podcasting.
Not very good at stuff.
I still feel like you can put that on your CV though.
Yeah, stuff you can't put on your CV. I can wiggle my ears.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't go on a CV.
That wouldn't go on a CV.
Does anybody even need to know that though?
Exactly. But it's a weird talent that I've got. I can wiggle my ears.
If this were a job, what would the title be then?
I have no idea.
Senior ear wiggler.
Senior ear wiggler. Circus attraction.
I'm trying to read the prompts because I really can't think of one. I'm disturbedly... No, I am good at that one. I am good at small talk with strangers' dogs. And I actually, because I'm autistic, I don't look at people. I look at their dogs and talk to their dogs.
Yeah, fair enough. I get
and if there's a party, I'll make a beeline for a dog. Always.
You're quite good at eye contact with me. Is that just because we're friends? Or?
Yeah. If I wasn't when I met you.
Yeah.
It's been progressively
Yeah, we're pretty good at eye contact.
Yeah.
Okay, so... Talking to others, to people's dogs, and wiggling your ears. Have you got any? Is any other things out there that could be construed as a superpower that's useless?
I mean, I feel like people that are really good at hobbies as well.
Yeah.
If you've got a hobby, you wouldn't necessarily. Well, you do put hobbies on your CV, but I mean, you wouldn't put it on a CV if you were going for a job interview.
Yeah, I wouldn't be like, I'm awesome at Guitar Hero.
No.
What use is that?
There you go. You could have answered it with that.
I just did.
You said wiggle ears. You went for wiggle ears.
I did wiggle ears first because it is like a useless thing. Why does anyone know how they can do that? Flare your nostrils, that kind of thing. So, yeah, okay. Well, I just introduced my kids to Guitar Hero, which is why it's fresh.
Okay. And it does say 2 or 3 weird talents on the script.
And I actually found that I'm not as good at it now as I used to be. I'm
That's like
really
me.
bad.
I get very frustrated when I try and play Pac-Man now.
Yeah.
Because I used to just go around the clock with Pac-Man. I literally used to make the score go
Is that one of your superpowers, playing Pac-Man?
Pac-Man. Yeah, any kind of 80s video game. Anything
Nice.
From the Atari.
Any retro video game. Yeah, I'm totally there with you.
Frogger.
I love Frogger. Manic Miner, did you ever play that?
Yeah.
It was like before Mario. He was basically Mario before Mario.
I like the supermarket one as well. It's like and then you jump over shopping trolleys and then radios and things. And you ever play that?
Oh yeah, was that not Manic Miner?
Mine? You didn't mine in the supermarket.
No, you don't. But I remember there was stuff like that in Manic Miner.
And Adventure, that was my favourite game. I absolutely loved that because there was a maze in it, and I like mazes.
Okay, cool.
There's a maze in it, and but it's really so naff because it's 80s. You had to get this little spear, and then you had to go through the maze, and this dragon was chasing you the whole time. So as you go through the maze, this thing's going meow, meow, and it's trying to eat you.
There was a Commodore 64 game that was similar to that. It was called Zulu, and I used to play that. What else was there? T-, the Prison Planet. So a friend had that. It wasn't my game, but a friend had it on Spectrum 128.
I just thought of something else as well. Sorry, I've gone right off on a tangent.
Right,
but
great.
something,
Go for
a
it.
skill that I've got that I could not put on a CV is that I always know what's going to happen at the end of a TV show or a film.
I'm a bit like that.
3
Oh,
minutes.
that guy's totally the dodgy
Yeah.
one. Yeah. Is that a thing? Is that a TISM thing?
Because literally, well, I don't know. I watched the beginning of Orphan Black, and I was like, she's gonna be a clone. Because when she died, and he's like,
Spoilers, by the way.
yeah, sorry.
Oh my
I mean, it's been out long enough.
It has, but
The
some
person
people
I was
still not
with was
got them.
like, how do you know that? Have you seen it? I'm like, no. It's just like, they were like, you can't possibly know that. I'm like, I do know that.
Well, I do. It's happening right now. I did the same for Fight Club. I figured out Fight Club in the first kind of 10-20 minutes. I was like, something dodgy here, and then I figured it out, and then they were like, how did you get that? And I was like, I've no idea.
It's quite frustrating though, isn't it? That's why I absolutely love a TV show or a film that I can't figure out, that keeps me guessing, that I'm like, I don't understand this and I don't know what's going on, and I love that. Because it's incredibly rare that it happens. Maybe I just watched way too much TV.
Yeah, I usually try and figure it out, and then when I get to the end and I'm wrong, I'm like, oh, nice.
Yeah.
That
That's
was
a good
good.
thing.
Well done, you.
Yeah. This is meant to be like a 20-minute segment, and that's lasted 6 minutes so far. I mean,
Well, we can only do what we can do. I mean, I like this one here. I can identify any crisp flavour blindfolded.
Any cliff.
Any cliff? Crisp flavour blind. That's a bit of a tongue tie.
I feel like anybody could do that. That doesn't feel like a skill.
What I was thinking was I saw a video the other day there, and it was a little kid and his parents, and he told them that he could tell them where the pizza came from if they got it from different places.
Okay.
And so they bought like Domino's, like Little Caesars. They're in America, obviously. So Papa John's and a couple of other types of pizzas.
Yeah.
Very expensive taste test, if you ask me. But they did it, and he got 5 for 5, and he was able to tell them where they came from.
Wow.
By
They are distinctly different though.
yeah, I want to do it now with my kids and be like, right, I'll get one from Pizza Hut, I'll get one from Domino's, I'll get one from Papa John's, and then I'll get a couple from Asda and a couple from Iceland, and see if they can figure it out.
You should do it, yeah, just like the budget pizzas, like Lidl, Asda, Tesco. Yeah. I hope I don't get into trouble for advertising.
I don't know, we've just said like every single... Well, we're just trying to be balanced.
Yeah.
We've said everybody.
Well, we didn't say Sainsbury's.
No, you have now.
Morrison's?
Do you know who does the best dip, now that you've just mentioned everything? I'm going to bring another brand in. There's a dip that we tried, and it was on offer when we went to the shop, and it was on one of those yellow tickets, so it only cost us 75p the first time we bought it, but it's actually £4 a dip. It was from Marks and Spencer's. It's got guacamole, salsa, and sour cream, and it's got it's like the best Mexican dip I've ever had. It's amazing.
Okay.
And I've tried to buy stuff from other shops, and they've not been as good. But I grudge paying £4 for it. I'm like, that's a lot for dip.
It's a lot for a dip.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then you got to buy something to put in the dip.
Yeah. So nachos, obviously, some kind of nacho or crisp.
You do the dip from M&S and then go to Lidl for your nachos.
Yeah, exactly. I get 25p nachos to put in my £4 dip. So anyway, that's not a superpower, but that I don't know. Disturbingly good at small talk with strangers' dogs. I like that as a superpower. I think that's a good one to have.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. So, I mean, cats as well. I mean, I'm not like animalist.
No, of course. Yeah.
Is my phone going off? That's like,
there's a buzzing.
Yeah, there is a buzzing.
You said you were professional.
You know, I never said I was professional. I never
You did at the beginning of this. You said, "I bought you a bottle of water," and I was like, "Oh, that's really nice." And you're like, "I'm a professional now." You did say that, and you brought a script as well. We've not really stuck to it.
Yeah, but you know, I'm joking when I say I'm professional.
So things you were weirdly good at but can't put on a CV. I think we've covered that. I think
we have.
We smashed that out.
We do. We need other people's.
Yeah. So if you have a weird superpower, weirdly good at but can't put on a CV, tell us what it is. It could be something like, I don't know, like blowing bubbles with bubble gum or something, like the biggest bubble ever. Like it could be something that's mundane.
That's the thing. Even though you can't put it on a CV, you probably could break a record with it.
Yeah, maybe. I actually have a record.
You actually have.
I don't know what actually happened to it. I don't know what actually happened to it. I was part of a air guitar world record.
Okay.
The most people who've ever played air guitar at a venue.
I mean, what else are you going to break a record at, really?
It was good. I enjoyed it. It was There wasn't even like a proper, like if you went to the ACDC and they were like, right, we're going to break a record here at this like this massive arena, that would be quite
So
fun.
it was just people rocking up to.
But
do
it
that.
wasn't. It was like a Sky event actually. You know, the TV company.
Okay.
And they had this event on, and one of the things was to break a world record, and they were going to break the air guitar record. So I think it was like it was like 2,500 people, but I feel like any other rock band could beat that dead easy.
But how do you know that people are doing it? Like, you know, when you see a record being broken and there's like that verification person that
they just stand on the stage looking at everybody. You're not playing your air guitar.
Well, that's it. How do you know it? How do you know everybody like suitably played their air guitar?
I don't know.
Or didn't it not matter if their arms were moving?
Right, your air guitar's not tuned.
You've lost your pick. You broke a string, you're out.
You broke a string, you're out. Your air guitar is faulty. I don't know. Is the answer. But air guitar, maybe you're weirdly good at air guitar, and that's your thing.
Send us a picture.
What?
I said send us a picture.
Send us a picture. Yeah, that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Where did send it to?
You know what? I actually don't know. I mean, I feel like this is why we never get anybody sending anything. I mean, let's talk about it on Instagram. That's probably your best bet.
Yeah, message on Instagram. That makes as much sense as anything. Let's talk about Instagram.
I think it's let's talk about 1111 just to be even more confused.
Yeah, just to be like a million different things.
Put it on LinkedIn. I advertise everything on LinkedIn now.
Oh, do you?
I did I volunteered to be
a lab
Mindless Academies. Mindless Academies, like media, whatever, for like July. So I learnt loads about like stuff. Really interesting stuff that I know you use for my podcast. Yeah.
No, can't use it on a podcast.
No, I do use it for my podcast.
Oh, you do?
I use it to promote my podcast now.
Oh, nice. Yeah. Cool. What did you learn? Give me an
scheduling.
example.
I learnt scheduling.
Okay,
so I made loads and loads of posts, and then I put them all up because I've got I'm working on a documentary, so I've got like a bunch of like spotlight series things going on for all my old podcasts.
So can you put weirdly good at LinkedIn now on your CV?
I think you can put that on a CV.
Weirdly good at LinkedIn.
Good at specific tasks on LinkedIn.
Social media manager.
Social media. Good at being a voluntary social media manager.
Right, let's move on to the next thing. I can't believe you've got a script. Right, short segment 1. It's time for this or that. Chaos or routine? You drink while you're drinking water.
Both?
But no, you have
chaotic
to
routine.
Chaotic routine. Overshare or withhold?
Withhold.
Oh, really? I'm an overshare. Cry in public or suppress forever? Forever.
Suppress forever?
Forever. Hope or cynicism?
Hope.
Okay. Be known or left alone?
Left alone.
Okay.
I know you're the opposite. I was literally writing these going, he's the opposite of all of
all
these.
of the things.
So then you've got to do it now. So chaos or routine?
Chaos.
We're meant to be actually saying why as well.
Oh, okay.
Or I can mock your choices. Overshare or withhold?
I'm always overshare.
Cry in public or suppress forever?
I have cried in public.
Have you?
Yeah.
Wow. Hope or cynicism?
Hope.
And be known or be left alone?
I want to be known by everybody.
Yeah. Okay. I can't really mock those. I mean, you can defend them, but I don't feel like they need defending. It is kind of you.
I do like a bit of chaos. I do like routine as well, though. And
I need routine.
You need routine.
Not even like I.
My wife brings a routine, so she writes like to set schedule for the week, and then we have to follow it. So yes, but no. So chaos, yes, is what I would choose. But my wife brings order, so I have to have routine.
You're such a professional. That was incredibly well done. I mean, nobody's going to know what we're talking about, but that was amazing. I'm suitably impressed.
Doesn't make any sense to anybody listening. Okay.
Right, segment 2, coping mechanisms that accidentally become personality traits.
So I do have one.
Only one? I feel like I've got a book full of them.
Okay, I do have a lot, but there's one I would be willing to share. So it's a sensory one. I like I call them tickly corners. It doesn't make any sense to anybody else, but like a sharp corner, and I like to just it centers me again.
Okay.
So and then when I start, I have to finish both hands.
Yeah.
I have to have do it the same on both hands.
Right.
And it's something that I can do when I'm out and about, because pieces of clothing, like shirts, when I was at school, my shirt had a sharp corner at the bottom of the shirt. So it was something I could, if I was sat and I was struggling, then I could, sensory-wise, center myself. And again...
Kind of discreetly.
Discreetly, yeah.
Yeah.
But then when I was in my early 20s, somebody was like, why do you do that thing? And I'm like, what thing? And they're like, where you rub your hand on the edge of material, and I'm like, I honestly didn't think it was a thing that anyone would notice, but they did. So yeah, it's definitely a thing that helps centers me, and it's even at home in bed. I've got a pillowcase, and I prefer it to, at least one of the pillowcases to have sharp corners so that I can regulate.
Pillowcases have round corners?
Some do.
Do they?
Yeah.
Wow, you live and
Or
learn.
they're dull. So like I have like a flicking technique to try and bring the corner back out, because you know how they sometimes go inside out when you take them and put them in the wash and stuff. So the corners get dull, and you have to like bring them back out of themselves. And this is getting worse and worse now. It's sounding worse. But it's a sensory thing. Definitely.
Is that a personality trait? I mean, what does a personality trait mean? I think I'm thinking of something like, because is something external a personality trait?
Well, I think we all mask, don't we? So to a certain extent, and so I definitely have a more outward going persona. Like, I don't speak like this all the time. Like, I don't enunciate and speak in this fashion all the time.
Kind of do.
But I'm always in presenter mode when I'm in public, so I kind of guess that's where it comes from. But like, if it was just you and me, I would just like, so, hi Nicky, how you doing? Are you alright? Is everything okay? How's home? So like, it's down.
Still a bit radio, isn't it?
It's more down. Yeah, I guess so.
It's just quieter.
It's just quieter and a little bit less energy, but yeah. So my persona that comes out is more of a more energetic, more.
That probably is a coping strategy. Wow,
coping
strategy that is part of your personality now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like so, I have to turn on.
You've made your mask into like
me.
a yeah.
So like I used to describe it as like there's like Private Ryan, like home time Ryan, and then there's performance Ryan.
You know with films then?
No, I don't mean no. Private Ryan.
Save me, Private Ryan.
I never thought that. So there's like home Ryan, and then there's work Ryan, and then there's like different functions, like if I do different things. So like presenter Ryan, when I was up at the castle doing presenting up there, like that's a different version of presenting than this is, because it's a public crowd, so when you work in a crowd it's a bit different again.
And they can see you.
And they can see you.
Do you prefer people being able to see you or not see you?
Well, I do radio for a reason, Nicky.
Fair.
So radio and podcasting I'm much more comfortable with, because people don't have to see me. I did a couple of video podcasts through COVID, and I found that quite hard to be like visually on as well as sonically on.
That's where I have not yet turned on my podcast visual, because I like when I'm going out walking, some of my podcasts I could watch them, but that kind of defeats the purpose of walking and listening to a podcast.
Yeah. And
I don't always want to see them, because that feels like it engages a different part of your brain, and I feel like it feels more intimate when you're just listening to something sometimes.
Yeah, I hear what you're saying. Like
more impactful.
I've got like YouTubers who do videos who I would definitely want to see it, and then I've got podcasts or podcast versions of those YouTubes where I don't need to see it.
Yeah.
And I would choose them for different functions. Obviously, if I'm in the car and traveling, then an audio podcast is the way to go. Mm-hmm. So
you don't want to be watching something.
Yeah, oh, that's really cool! Ah! So that peaked. I'm sorry.
I feel like mine is probably smiling and looking like I know what I'm doing when I don't. That's probably mine, because I smile and laugh a lot, and like abnormally so, and it looks a bit disturbing sometimes. People are like,
"Wow, what are you laughing at?"
Yeah. So yeah, I feel like I do that quite a lot, and I also feel like I try and overlearn something to like a hideous extent, so that I feel like I actually know a little bit about it.
Yeah, I think I'd do the same actually. Like, I would take on information to a point that I know it better than most people, so that I can then either teach it or regurgitate it in a way that makes me seem like a subject matter expert. But
I feel like that's what being neurodivergent does, that people don't realise, is that like that whole analogy where people, you know, the swan and the little legs underneath the water, I feel like we're always doing like 10 times more
underneath the water.
Yeah, more work just to look like we're semi-okay or semi-normal. What
it does do though is it turns us into like masters of like, not manipulation, but like being able to relate to people. Like, I did a call the other day then, I had to meet everybody on the call and find out what their loves were, what their like their passions were, so that we could talk about doing a podcast on some of them. Mm-hmm. And we went around the room and I could speak to every person on their level about their thing.
Yeah.
Because I've had to diversify my knowledge so much that I can talk to anybody about anything really, almost. So it's that was my lanyard just rattling off the table. So yeah, it does become a skill, I think, and it's something you can use, and that has become a bit of a personality trait where I seem like I know a lot about a lot of things, and that's just from the necessity of survival, I think. Having to feel like I fit in and not be the...
But even when you know something, sometimes do you like just doubt it? Do you get like absolute like imposter syndrome?
I have imposter syndrome about everything, which is why I need to become the subject matter expert on the things, so that if somebody goes, you don't watch that podcast, and I'm like, I do watch that podcast, and like, prove it, and I'm like, well, I can, because I can quote every episode. So
I can actually, I can vouch for that. I've seen you do that with the kids, and like some of their really random like things they come in with. I want to do a podcast about this, and I'm thinking, okay, I don't know anything about that, and you know something about it.
Yeah, I try and know a little bit about everything and a lot about a lot of things. I do think it helps, especially when we're doing this. If you've seen us running courses and stuff, and it does help you relate to people, because you can be just like, oh yeah, I know a little bit about that, I can talk about that. The other thing is true now, though. I've learned to do the opposite when I don't know it. And I can now be like, well, can you tell me about that? Because that sounds like a really cool thing, and I would like to know more about it, but I actually at this point know nothing about it.
Yeah.
And then the next week they see me, I'm like, I'm a subject matter expert now. And I've like watched 5 seasons or something.
I feel like that's really valuable, especially for young people to learn, though, that you don't always have to know everything, and that you can say, I don't know about that either, teach me about that, or I'll go away and learn about that.
Yeah.
Right. That's a valuable thing to learn.
So, and I think that took me a while to figure that out. I thought I had to know all the same things that the person I was talking to knew. And it's maybe been my married life, like, because my wife doesn't like all the same things that I like. And it took me a while to realize that was a good thing, and not like a bad trait that, oh, you don't want to watch that TV program, we're not compatible anymore. And I think for a long time in my youth I did think like that. Like, oh wait, you don't like my favorite TV show, you and I can't get on. Like, I mean,
it depends how big that TV show is for you and how like big a thing it plays in your life, I guess.
Yeah, I guess so. But like,
because if you want to rock up at Comic Cons every week or something and they don't, I mean, that's going to start causing problems.
Yeah, exactly. So there's balance to everything, and I think I've learned that as I've got older. But in my youth, I definitely didn't know that. Did not know that. So things that I would say are personality traits now are probably things I've learned behavior along the way, because I'm still faking it. Still faking it until I make it, because I don't trust myself. Like, I really honestly feel like an imposter in every situation. So I just try too hard, maybe, and that's where the overshare comes in. I'm like, look, tell you all this stuff about me. Maybe it'll make you care about me more. I don't know.
When 9 times out of 10 it makes people run screaming for the hills.
Yeah, they're like, oh my god, I just got Ryan's life history in 35 minutes. So that's definitely overshare as a personality trait.
Yeah.
What about you? Is there anything else you can pinpoint?
I mean, obviously smiling and appearing happy all the time and like competent all the time is my biggest one, because I'm absolutely not. And I feel like I'm just
like screaming inside. Your eyes are screaming, but
yeah. And when people are talking to me, I either like completely zone out of what they've said, so I don't hear what they're saying, or if I do manage by some miracle to listen from the beginning to the end of a sentence without like my head disappearing somewhere else, then I forget what they've said, or I don't fully understand it, and I don't know how to say, could you like rephrase that, or well, I do sometimes, but like the 5th time you do it, people start losing
they're
interest.
Like, excuse me. There's a clip, and I think it's from Parks and Recreation, where it's like, I'm super excited to do the thing you just said, but could you repeat everything a bit more exciting and less boring? And so like, I've totally paraphrased that, but one of the characters, it was the Chris Pratt character, and he's like, I want to do the thing, but I totally zoned out and didn't listen to a thing you said, so could you say it more exciting? I think that's, we've all got that again, that's a thing.
Yeah, totally.
So what in childhood habits, is that something that stuck? There's a thing there, stuck. What's stuck? Childhood habits that stuck. That's
I am actually, I'm in trauma therapy counselling at the moment. I went through this thing and then I got through another thing, and then it actually let me do some counselling. So I'm doing trauma therapy, and I feel like that's just bringing up the fact that I don't feel like I have childhood habits, because I don't feel like an adult now. I don't feel like I've ever grown out of being
I've
a child.
literally set up Guitar Hero on the PlayStation 2 in my living room to try and share it with my kids, and they were like, can we go on the Nintendo Switch now, Dad? And I'm like, oh no, my kids hate me. They don't like the same things I like. I totally regressed. I was like, I went all this trouble to get the PlayStation set up and get all these games together and bring it down from the loft. And then I had to realize how to make the PlayStation work on the new TV because they weren't designed to work on HDMI TVs. And I'm like, oh no. And I made it all work and we're playing it. And then they're like, can we just play this Switch?
I feel like, Frogger and stuff, my son will play that for a millisecond and then just be like...
Yeah, they don't get it.
Not complicated
Don't
enough.
get it, yeah.
No. And I also feel like, do you know what? That's a very neurodivergent thing as well, though, because I speak to a lot of people about this a lot of the time. Like the thing we were talking about where people... Don't you always feel like you're always there for everybody else as well? And you can, like you said, you can read people brilliantly. So you are like there empathetically for them and take on their problems, but nobody ever asks you.
Is it not weird how we can read people, but we're also crap at social cues? Like, how does both of those things hold true? I don't understand it sometimes, because sometimes I'm like, oh, this person is completely bored because I've been talking to them for 30 minutes about my special interest.
But they're not.
But they're not, or they are, and I can't tell.
Yeah.
So. Yeah, isn't that weird? Like,
no, because we're like reading. I feel like we're reading the person behind the person they're showing us. So it's like, and I feel like that's maybe why people think that neurodivergent people are really bad at social cues and stuff like that, because we're not actually taking you at face value at like what you're presenting to us, because we've spent all of our lives masking and trying to fit in.
So we're trying to peek behind the mask.
So we are peeking behind their mask, and so they're showing us one thing, we're seeing another, and so we're confused. We're like. But like they're saying, yeah, I'm fine, and I did this, and you're thinking, but no, you're not, and you didn't. And it's really confusing.
It is, yeah. No, I totally get that.
And I feel like that's why it's confusing, because people don't necessarily show you who they are, or everybody's masking to a certain extent.
Yeah.
And I feel like neurodivergent people mask least in the sense that they are themselves completely, and other people find that weird. And that's maybe
we're only ourselves, or in places that we allow ourselves to be ourselves. Does that make sense? That made sense. It totally did. Totally made sense.
Pause it.
Because,
think about it.
No, we did. Because it's true. Because like I'll go home and I'll try, and then I'll unmask more than obviously I would at work. And like sometimes I just need to go upstairs and have a lie down and recover for 15 minutes and just like, right, okay, recenter. Do you know? So I don't know. I think that we're all different, and yet somehow all the same.
Mm-hmm.
So it's weird.
But I feel like we don't find those, and I feel like that's a whole other podcast, and we need to get Demi in for that, because I feel like the three of us have said it time and time again to each other, we need to like define for people, because a lot of the time as well, people downplay like neurodivergence or like OCD or any of those kind of things. They don't know how severe they can be and how hard it is to live with that. And I feel like they say, oh, but everybody does that, and everybody's got a little bit of that, and everybody... I mean, they would not say that to somebody in a wheelchair, would they? They wouldn't be like, everybody.
I've got a little bit of
everybody can't walk a bit. Everybody, like, you wouldn't do it. So I feel like that needs clarifying at some point. We need to like talk about what the differences are and why they're different.
I think I took screenshots of how you get the diagram. It's like it's not a Venn diagram, but it's a diagram of traits, and it shows like off the chart. It's a big circle, and then it's got like
those 60s clocks with all.
Yeah, it's almost like a pie chart, but it's got equal bit segments, and then each one's named something different.
Yeah.
And then it'll say all the autistic traits are this, X, Y, and Z, and you can see them off the charts. And then you've got ADHD traits, and they'll be off the charts in a different way.
Yeah.
And then you've got like a neurotypical person, and they have some of these same traits, but they're not off the charts.
They're not extreme.
They're enhanced maybe from another neurotypical person, but not to they don't get how far off the scale it is for neurodivergent people. They don't understand the visual, and I thought it was a really good visual to show the difference between a neurotypical.
But you can't do visuals on a podcast, so we need to explain that.
So we need to explain
verbally.
it. So like, if the outside of the circle is 100%, then there is another circle outside of that where. Like,
how did you get more than 100%?
I know, I can't.
That's like when you say to somebody, how much did you enjoy that?
I think that's like, technically 60%. What it is, because it's up at 160%, and it's actually overflowing so much to the point that it's too much. It's sensory overload. And I think people can get sensory overload, neurotypical, of course they can. But I think the misunderstanding is just how big the difference is between... neurotypical overload
and how much it affects you, like especially because like the overthinking and that kicks in as well as the OCD and stuff. So you do nothing but think about that, like, all the time. It's running in the background in your brain, and so you're trying to function with all these. I mean, I feel like it's like, sometimes I've tried to show people by like just constantly poking them while I'm trying to get them to do something. It's like, do this really complicated task, and I just sit there poking them and then talking in their ear, and it's just like they can't concentrate on it, and they can't do it. And it's really difficult, and I feel like that's a good way of trying to explain it. Yeah,
because I have a constant voice in my head. In fact, the voice in my head is always telling me like how stupid I am and what an idiot I am, and it's always like no, you've done. Why did you say that? Like it's really like jarring.
Or why didn't you say that? Like, why 2 a.m. in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
3 days later. Why didn't I say that?
Oh, why? Like the comeback song. But honestly, it's hard because I don't think. If I have to explain it, so if I say something or somebody says something to me and it's hypercritical, or at least in my perception of it is hypercritical, that will stay with me for the rest of my life. Like, I know how people can forgive, forget, or get rid of stuff. Mine just stays, and I'm forever replaying it. It's like an advert, like you get a pop-up on a screen and the advert's like in the corner and it's flashing at you. And if you've got a virus on the computer, these more and more pop-ups come up. Maybe that's an old reference, but like you get all these pop-ups.
I don't think we have any listeners, let alone young ones, so you're right.
Okay, so but if you've got a pop-up on the screen and you just can't get rid of it, that's what it's like. It's like if I've got this thing continuously in the corner that I'm aware of, that I'm like, oh yeah, why did I say that? Or why did they say that? What did they mean by that? Was that like, did I make a fool of myself? I made a fool of myself. If I made a fool of myself, then how do I fix that? I might never see that person again. Like it could be with somebody who I've
but 90% of the time as well, if you try and fix it, you make it worse, and you make it like more.
Because you draw attention to it. They've forgotten about it. They didn't even notice.
Or they might not even notice it.
They didn't know it's a thing in the first place. Exactly. So. And then in my head, it's I can't get rid of it. Like, I'm still replaying conversations I had in primary schools with people that I had.
And yet you can't remember what you did last week.
And I can't remember. But it's because there's all this noise in my head. And like, that was a total regret. I shouldn't have said that when I was in primary 4. Like, it's stupid.
It's taking up space.
It's taking up space and bandwidth that...
that's interesting, because I saw an article the other day about, people executive functioning, and people say, I'm really forgetful, or I can't like process information the same way. And it was this guy, I'll send it to you actually. I'll maybe put it on the website. I don't know.
Yeah,
anyway, it was this guy saying about it's not that, it's about clipping. Like, your brain's meant to clip things and get rid of that, like pruning when you're asleep and that. You're meant to, and it does it during the day as well. And ours just doesn't do it. So it's like it's constantly it's like trying to grow something in a flower bed that's full of flowers.
Yeah.
So unless you get all the flowers out, you can't grow something new, or even like deadhead them, or like maintain them in some way. Our brain's not doing that. It's not maintaining it.
A friend of mine, he explained it for his personal version of neurodivergence. He explained it like the Minority Report, so the movie, and he said, how you've got all the screens and they're all there and they're all running. It's almost like a security monitor, but it's got like 5,000 different things in it, and they're waiting to see which one kicks off in the Minority Report. Well, he was saying that he can pick one and bring it, and then that whole memory will play, and he'll get that whole thing. And I was like, that's actually a really good way of saying it, because they're all there, they're all in there, and they're all still running. And you can pick it out and then certain in on it, and then all the other ones disappear while you're still spending some time on it, and then you can put it back, and then all the other noise starts again, and you're like, oh right, I need to pick one out. I feel like that's always
like hyperfocus, isn't it? When you do that,
you can hyperfocus on a memory, and you can let it go, and then but then while you're hyperfocusing on that one thing, you're not taking in anything else around you. So he would be like, I can remember my version of an event. And because that's my version of the event, I don't remember what happened. I don't know what was happening around me. I know what was happening in my moment. And most people are like that. They kind of talk about their moment. But he's like, I can only draw it out and give you the whole memory as I see it. And I'm like, that's actually quite poignant. I think that's quite a cool way of doing it with tech. That it shows how our brains are working. Like you said, that we're not pruning things. Having a whole video available to you at any point at any time, because I'm quite visual, so that worked for me.
I'm audio and visual. I think I'm more audio than visual. The other thing as well is, like, I did a post the other day. I think it was a post, and I think I was talking to somebody about it. Might be my therapist. About like, the Goodies computer. Do you remember the Goodies? You're younger than me, aren't you? But like, so there was a TV show. I think it was the 70s. Might have even gone into
Is
the
that
80s.
another one where it's like, oh, it's falling into water?
It was...
Was that one?
What?
That was like a radio show. I'm sure that was Goodies.
No, well, the Goodies did a TV show when I was growing up, and like it was like there was no computers when I was growing up. I mean, there probably was somewhere, but nothing like we've got today.
Yeah.
And they had this giant computer, like it was one of the first ones on the screen. It was Bill Oddie and Tim Brooke Taylor, and I can't remember the third one.
Like Peter Sellers and people like
no.
that. All right, okay. Maybe
Anyway,
that's what I was thinking.
yeah. So their computer, they used to like put a question into it. Like, so how do I cook a tomato? So like Google. And then it literally just did its thing. It just computed it like Alan Turing's computer in like that film where it's just like clicking away doing its thing. And then all of a sudden it went ping. And then it gave them a note that was not related to tomatoes at all and just said something complete. So it was really funny. It was really good for comedic value. But I'm like, that's my brain. Like literally, when I'm trying to learn,
it's running a task.
When I need to, yeah, all the time when I need to write an essay at uni, it's I go, okay, brain, here's all the information. Like I'll listen to all these kind of like articles and that, and I need to do this. On you go. But the problem is I have then no control over when it's going to do that.
When it's so it's going tick, 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 and you're like, it might ding in 4 weeks.
And then I start getting really stressed because I'm like, deadlines in a week, deadlines in 3 days, still haven't written it.
Could you please speed that up?
When it does it and when it goes ding, then I can do it. But I can't control the ding.
You can't control the ding.
No.
I think that has to be the name of this episode. Can't control the ding.
It's time to play 3 things, no context. Yeah.
Short segment, quick fire game, 3 things, no context, go! Each person says an object.
Right, hang on a minute. No explanation. Let the other person try and guess the story behind them.
Oh my
so
God,
you've got to say something. I've got to try and guess why you're saying that.
You go first.
Right, an object. Headphones.
Radio, doing this, podcasting.
Yeah, and walking, and like that's how I chill out. Is like because like if I'm in a busy situation, I've got loops as well, which are like
The
they're
opposite
like
of headphones.
yeah, the opposite of headphones. You just put them in your ear and they dull all the sound out and stuff like that. And like noise cancelling headphones. So I use headphones all the time for lots of different reasons.
I find loops stressful, or the equivalent, like the noise blocking thing, because I feel like I can hear every single noise inside my head.
Yeah, you can.
Like,
yeah, you can.
And I'm like, oh, turn that down.
Pull them out a little bit.
Yeah,
it worked better.
struggled
Okay,
with
your
that
object.
Object. I don't know. This is so
Thing.
hard.
There's so many things in the world. I can't think
I know.
of a
I'm like,
thing.
I can't think of a single thing.
What's something that's important to you?
SG guitar, Gibson Goth SG. There you go.
Is that because like is that like a Brian May thing where you made it with your dad or something?
No, so I was in America, and it was back when everything was like $2 to the pound, so everything was like half price.
Right.
And then their tax was like 6%, so it was all a further 10% cheaper than everything else that
Right.
we had here. So the one thing I regret is not buying the Gibson SG Goth in the music shop that I went to. I was like, I'll come back, and I wanted to mull it over, and when I came back the shop was shut.
Oh no.
And it's my biggest regret, because we were only there for one day. We were traveling down the whole East Coast, and we were only in that mall for that one day. And I was like, I should have bought the Gibson SG Goth. Right. I should have bought it, and I never did. And it's one of my biggest regrets, because I was like, that's almost a £2,000 guitar now, and I would have paid like £700 for it back in the day, back then. So I was like,
That would have been a bargain.
that would have been a nice thing to bring home.
Lesson learned.
Lesson learned. If you see the thing and you really want it, just get it.
If you've got the money. I mean, not
No, put it on your credit card.
Wow,
No, do not do that.
That is bad advice.
Do not do that.
Bad financial advice.
Bad financial advice. Do not.
Right,
do
I
that.
went first with an object, so you got to go first with a quote or a lyric.
Oh, okay.
I need to look mine up.
How are you gonna go and see it?
That's cheating, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that is cheating. There's a quote, and I'm going to get all the film wrong and everything, but he's like talking to people, and then his hand starts rotating like this, and he's like, "Look at my hand!" And he's surprised by his own body movements. I think it's a Kevin Kline movie, and he's actually gay, and he doesn't admit it to himself. He's like, "I'm not gay."
Oh, I've seen
What's
that.
called?
What's that called? I don't know.
But like, he's trying to explain that he's not gay, and his
I
whole
meant
hand.
to guess the story behind it. You've literally just told me the
And
story
I'm sorry.
behind
I
it.
told you the story behind it. I'm really sorry. Right,
Okay.
I'm rubbish at this.
This true love I can't even say the word. Wow. This true love trajectory. Whoa, I said it. Yay.
This true love trajectory.
You can't say it. How hard is trajectory to say?
What? Trajectory. There we go. Got it.
Trajectory.
Trajectory. Tragic. Okay, I don't know.
Let the other person try and guess the story behind
I
it.
don't know if I can guess that. I don't know.
It's a new song that I found. It's a lyric in a new song that I've just found that I love. Yeah.
And what's the song like? Go on.
I'm not singing it. I
No,
can't.
don't. Just tell us the song.
Oh, I can't remember the name of it, but
Oh,
there you go.
come on.
If you can find it at home, well done. You can
That's all right. I'm going to have to play along when I
We're
listen
like
to
this is like the opposite. One of my favourite podcasts is The Rest is Entertainment, and this is like the opposite of that. They're like super expert and knowledgeable and everything. We're just like, yeah, there's this film that we don't know the name of.
I can't remember. What's the name of that song? It's In and Out. Is that the name of the song?
Okay, Smell or a Sound. Oh, how hard is that? A smell or a
Petrol.
sound? Petrol?
Yeah.
Like a weird, like, you're trying to confess something to us here.
No, I'm
You've
not
got some
Firestarter or
petrol
anything like
addiction that you need to sniff it.
I guess a little bit to the... do you want me to explain it? You're gonna...
Well, that was my guess, was like you're addicted to petrol.
I don't know how you could become addicted to petrol. But I think I like the smell of...
Can you even get high off petrol? I'm so naive with like drugs and...
I'm assuming that it's a hydrocarbon, so I don't know.
What's a hydrocarbon? Is it like...
Contains hydrogen and carbon. It's a hydrocarbon.
But what are they normally
That's
addictive?
what you use to burn for fuel.
I know, but are they addictive normally? I'm like,
don't know.
I'm trying to figure out why petrol might be addictive to smell it.
I don't think so. Maybe it is, but it's dangerous for you anyway.
Yeah, I
It's
wouldn't do it.
noxious. At the very least, it's a noxious fume.
Yeah.
I remember being a kid going to school, and back in the day, engines were not as efficient as they are now. And in a car, you could actually see the smoke coming out of the back of the exhaust.
Yeah.
And I remember being as a kid, like waving my hand through the smoke and be like, "Ooh, I like that smell of petrol, basically unburnt fuel." And then when I was older, we went jet skiing. And they were 2-stroke engines, and the smell off of them, I was just like, I love that smell.
I don't want to be sexist here, but I feel like that engine-y, steamy, weird, those kind of smells.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there's lots and lots of women out there that absolutely love them, and like other people too. But I have never got my head around that.
I'm dead into like.
Because my son with steam, he's just like.
And
my other son, like if a bike goes past or
I
something,
think
he's
it's
like
steam engines then, so like a train or
yeah.
Yeah, because again, it's unburnt fuel, so it's.
But why are you?
I don't know. I can't explain it.
Please prove me wrong and write in like all like people that like
Yeah.
that smell, because I'd like to do.
So yeah, looking back, that has damaged my brain. The noxious fumes, as I'm like, that smells good. But yeah, definitely that kind of exhaust smell.
My
from
sound is
vehicles.
like I fixate on certain people at certain times throughout my life. Like I'll find somebody and they'll inspire me, and then I'll focus on their voice. And then I'll make recordings of their, not in a creepy way. I sound like a stalker. I mean, like, normally it's famous people. So, like, you've got lots of evidence of their voice or a song and I'll just make a clip of a tiny bit of it. And then I'll just use that as like if I'm feeling really panicked or really anxious, like you with your shirt earlier. Yeah. I'll listen to something. I'll listen to, like, their voice and it calms me down.
Just to soothe you?
Yeah.
To re-regulate?
Yeah.
Okay.
To regulate me.
So, whose voices have you used in the past?
I mean, John Travolta, because like he imprinted on me like a baby duckling when I was like a kid.
Grease.
That was the first movie I ever saw at the cinema. Yeah, it was Grease.
Grease was a good man.
Yeah, and so I've used his voice in the past, but lots of different people. It changes regularly. I mean, I'm not loyal.
I'm not loyal. I just use anything to bring me down.
No, well, it's just that you get interested in different things at different times in your life, don't you? And then something like new comes along. And anyway, that was a 5-minute segment. I feel like we spent 3 hours on that.
We did. Object sound.
I've just realised by making segments as well, I've now got to put jingles in this. Flipping out, I'm making more work for myself.
You are making lots of segment.
Okay, segment 3. This is why
it's
like
3. You would have like done. I feel like we've been going on forever. How can this only be 3? That can't be true.
This is like a pie chart. Like it's like one of those, like Trivial Pursuit. It's like the little thing.
I'm going to win my orange segment. Next time, the purple segment. What?
Right, segment 3. This we nearly filled our little pie. That sounds weird. Okay, scratch that from the record. Right, where we thought we'd be by now. So when you were like a kid, or like, what do you think your life would have looked like? What age are you now?
Older than people think I am. I actually asked a group the other day. Then it was a group I had in today, and I asked them, "How old do you think I am?" Because what happened, I was having a conversation with the youth worker that was with them, and I think they're almost 60. They've got the 60th birthday coming up, but they said something about
I like where this is going.
Yeah, okay. So basically what happened was I went to go get something. I was like, we've got the apparatus, it's fine. And I was like, do you remember at school, it was always a good day when they got the apparatus out.
Yeah, yeah.
And then they bring the big wooden thing from the wall and it would clamp to the floor. And,
And those ropes they made us climb with not even a mat underneath.
No mats underneath, yeah.
Just go 20 feet in the air.
You always knew you were getting a good PE day when it was like the apparatus was getting out and you're like, go and take the apparatus.
I love that pommel horse thing.
Yeah, and you had like all the different things to do.
Just
It was
let you
so
on
good. And they were just like,
no health or safety.
You've no gymnastics training whatsoever, but get on this big horse.
Don't even stretch. Just run.
Exactly.
Jump. Off you go.
Right? But they were the best days ever.
Yeah.
So I was saying this and she was like, how old are you? Because that seems like a really old-fashioned thing to reference. And I was like, she was like, I think you might be older than I think you are. And I was like, well, let's ask the young people. How old do you think I am? And one of them was like 31. I was like, I will take that. I will take that all day long. And they're like, maybe oldest 35. I was like, again, you guys have passed. You don't even have to do any work. You're all passed. So I'm clearly giving off younger. I'm older than 30. Older than 35. Yeah.
Okay, so where did you think your life would be at this point?
There was a few different things. So at one point I thought I was going to be an athlete. So I was really good. We did lots of stuff. I don't look like an athlete now. This is why Nick is actually laughing at me.
I'm not laughing at how you look. I'm laughing because you just like when you walk up the stairs, like you're like, oh, like,
I know,
it's
right?
a big deal.
It's a big deal walking up the stairs. So now not so much. Like many years on, but at the time I was doing athletics and rugby and bodybuilding. So like I was really properly into sport and stuff. And I got injured playing rugby.
When was that? Is this like high school?
This is high school age,
right.
Yeah. So I got injured playing rugby and that ruined lots of things because I had to have surgery on my shoulder.
Right.
So, yeah. So back then I thought I was going to be a sports person like a bit longer than just to high school. And then, yeah. So I was sports champion at school and things like that. I'd always win all the races and things. Mm-hmm. So there was that. I thought that was going to be a thing. And then obviously... moved on a bit and I thought there was a possibility I might actually get into music because I can sing and I wanted to be we were in a band and I've been in several bands and I was like maybe we could make a go of this and actually because we're really good we could legitimately make this. So for a little while that was a dream and I thought that would be a thing, but always in the background as well I had this thing that I wanted to, because I'd done a lot of kind of charity work from like 10 years old. So when I was 18 I had all this time, all this experience. So I thought when I leave school, what I'll do is I really want to fix some of the things I can see that are not working. So I wanted to be director of social work. Like this like big thing in my head that I'm gonna go and get a management degree, I'm gonna get a social work degree, and then I'm gonna be director of social work, and I'm gonna fix all these things that I've seen that people who haven't had the experiences I've had don't know they're broken. Yeah. So I would love to fix that. And so I did go to uni twice to do both of these things, and it didn't work out for me because I didn't have the support I probably needed, and I was bored. I was constantly bored because they were just telling me stuff I knew, and then the way my brain works, if I've already divulged it, I've done the task. So it was a bit rubbish for me because I was like, oh yeah, so I've told the teacher all the things I know, and now, you actually want to write that down as well. I'm not doing that. So
no, I think that's a limiting for a lot of people, to be honest, is like the fact that they know it in their head and they can explain it verbally, but they can't put that in a coherent essay.
Just get it down on paper. So for me, that didn't work. So I'm not director of social work, and there was so many steps along the way where I thought I was going to have other jobs. I thought I was going to be like a physical intervention trainer because I did that as an instructor's thing when I worked at Scottish Autism. I thought I was going to do mentoring. There's lots of different things I thought I was going to do. And a lot of them are related to what I'm doing now. Like I still do mentoring. I still teach kind of. I guess I've just fallen into the things that I wanted to do in the first place and fix kind of things because I'm an employability kind of person and community development. So I feel like I went a long way around. I did get to the things that I was expecting to do, but not in the fashion I thought I would.
And what about like family and stuff? Did you always want a family and stuff? Was that because you were talking about careers and that? I feel like when you say to people, what's like, where do you think you'd be in your life now? Very few of them ever say, I thought I'd not have a family and I've got a family, or I thought I didn't.
Yeah, I suppose so. things changed for me quite quickly. So I always said I was going to be the cool uncle, and my sister could have all the kids, and I would turn up and be like, cool, yeah, look at me, and then I would leave, and then they would have the child that was all wound up because I've been and fed them sweets and stuff. But I became the parent. My sister ended up not having children,
right?
And I became the parent. So she became the cool auntie. So
Right.
how's that for a role reversal? So yeah, that kind of thing happened. Did I expect to be a parent? I always wanted to be a dad because I had all that whole care experience, and I always thought I'd be a good dad.
Mm-hmm.
Did I necessarily want to be a dad? It didn't for a long time. I thought, no, maybe I'm not ready, and that thought was always in my head.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's because my career was never sorted.
Yeah, maybe.
I think I wanted to get a career. I wanted to make sure I was making some money.
Your life was sorted.
That my life was solid, and then I had enough money to kind of afford a child. I guess that was the kind of my headspace. And I got to 30 before I became a dad. So, so I guess.
So you're definitely not 31 then, because I've met your son.
Yeah, I've met my son. My son's.
And he's not one.
He's not one. So yeah, I guess it happened later. Everything happened later. I think that's what happened. My whole life is offset by maybe 10, 20 years more than I thought it was going to be. And because I just never made the steps. There was a time where I thought I was going to get an army scholarship straight out of school. Right. And I was going to spend 7 years in the army. So there was that as well. I thought I was going to be doing that.
Do you think people that as kids and that say, I want to be an astronaut, or I want to be, when you ask little kids in primary school, do you think any of them follow that? I'd like to know the percentage of the amount of people that follow that through and actually end up, how many people do you think, if you sat them down now, even in this space, and said, are you where you thought you'd be at this age? How many of them do you reckon would be like, yes?
I don't know. It'd be interesting, wouldn't it? I think there has been...
I feel like it'd be a small number.
Yeah, and it depends what their dreams were, their aspirations were.
And how attainable they are.
Did you go and... did you have the academic attainment? Were you fit enough? Were you able to become an astronaut? Because an astronaut is a job. It's a small percentage.
And you never know if you're going to meet somebody and fall in love. And even if you didn't want kids, then you do want kids. Or if you did want kids, you don't want kids because that person doesn't want kids. Or, there's those factors in. I guess you can never
all the things you can never factor in.
Yeah. Maybe that's where your life goes in. I didn't think my life... I was so anxious as a child and that. Growing up and everything, I didn't really think about it because I didn't like the thought of trying to plan out a future. I always knew I wanted kids, and I thought I wanted to get married. Yeah. Because my parents had such a good marriage. That's a mistake. But then I feel like as well, being neurodivergent has skewed how I think and feel and masking to the point where I was maybe in a lot of situations that I shouldn't have been in because I was doing what I thought.
Be somebody else.
Yeah. So it's really hard for me to say, do I think what was it, the question? Turn the page.
Where are you and where do you think you're going to be now?
Where we thought we'd be by now. Yeah, it's really hard for me to say that because I've never really lived my life like that either. I don't feel like all I wanted to do when I was young was have kids and a family like my mum had done because that's all I'd ever seen. That was my only representation of the world.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I was so isolated, and I literally used to watch TV and stuff and listen to things to learn how to do things and how to act and how to be in situations. Because I didn't want to be at school and I didn't want to be around people. So if I had to be, then I needed a map of how to do that because I didn't know how to do it.
A template for how to be. Yeah.
So then I feel like a lot of the time as well, I've lived my life mimicking other people as opposed to being who I am.
As a person who grew up in the 80s, I feel like we have a lot of social justice representation because you had the A-Team, you had Michael Knight and the Knight Rider, and they're always people, one man can make a difference. So
and my favourite. Don't forget my favourite.
And your favourite of all time, Samuel Beckett. Can he quantum that leap? I don't know.
Yes, he can, because he did.
Because he did. Quantum leap, but all the trying to help people and
Wonder
do better.
Woman.
And all,
even female role models like Wonder Woman.
Everything that I remember, even He-Man and stuff like that, cartoons. I watched a cartoon called Mask, which was Mobile Assault Command.
I remember
Command
that,
was spelled with a K. And it was all about good versus...
Mask is spelled with a K in it.
No, but Command's not spelled with a K.
Oh my god! I can't do that. I can't put letters in the right order. Don't make me do that.
So it was called Mask anyway. And as a kid, that was a big thing for me because it was vehicles that turned into other vehicles, like a car.
It was
turned
like
into a
before
plane.
Transformers,
yeah,
wasn't it? Or
well,
no,
no,
Transformers.
same kind of time
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. It's like what they're trying to do now with Traitors, isn't it? Like, Traitors is amazing. Everybody's like, let's make something like Traitors. There's 2 shows on at the moment. There's like one on ITV about a hotel and one on BBC like called Destination X or something.
All right,
and they're both just trying to rip off the Traitors in some way.
Try and be good, or
try and get a good format. Yeah.
So I feel like we had a template for social justice, which tends to make me like question people when they're not doing the right thing. I don't know if that's neurodivergent or if that's just because the role models we had were always, you should do the right thing because you should just do the right thing.
I feel like there's a bit of that, but I do feel like even really young neurodivergent people I know, like my son who's 20 and like his friend group and everything, they are very, very moralistic and very like, this is right and this is wrong.
Yeah.
And you should just be good for the sake of being good and you should help people for the sake of helping people.
Because like, we can get very deep into this, but like obviously you've got the song.
We're not going to.
But you've got like the song Imagine and John Lennon saying, imagine there was no heaven, so there was no rules, there was actually no consequences to any of your actions. Would you still do the right thing? And my answer to that is yes, because it's ingrained in me to.
But that's integrity, isn't it? Doing something good even when nobody's watching you.
Yeah, to do the right thing.
To do the right thing,
regardless of what the outcome is. Always do the right thing. And I think that was.
Maybe we were brought up like that though as well. Maybe there's a generation above us that was like instilling that as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Like,
because don't you feel like I've always felt like I've always loved film and like all sorts of like media and stuff because I always feel like it reflects society, and I feel like in films and things like that you can tackle subjects that you are hard to have conversations about and that, and you can make a film about it. And then people are just like they kind of think they're watching entertainment, but they're being educated or they're being. But anyway, right, we're an hour, right? So I don't want to go too much longer because I don't want to bore anybody that much. But having said that, I don't want to move on to the outro because that question, we were talking about this before when you looked at my script in aghastment. Is that a word? Because you were like,
I was aghast.
Because you were like, you made a script.
You made exactly.
So yeah, like that. Something you're glad you didn't get. I kind of want to end on that.
Oh yeah, I think that's difficult because we're not wired that way. We more regret stuff than we like, the relief of something.
Yeah, so. Why? I mean, again, like if you're listening to this and you've got something that you're happy, your life didn't go in a certain direction, and you may not have been happy at the time because at the time you might have felt like it was the worst. I mean, I feel like most of my relationships, I was like at the time willing them to work and I'm pretty glad that I think none of them did, and that's probably not great for my kids because, you know, I'm pretty sure they would like me to be in a happy relationship with their dad.
They're also happy that they exist, so they won't want you to regret any relationships, I guess, because if you didn't have them, then you wouldn't have your kids.
Exactly.
So there's a lot. I've always had the mindset that if you are where you are now and you're basically happy with the way things have turned out, then everything that happened before was meant to happen, because I'm here and I'm happy.
But you said like you wanted to be in a band and you wanted to be an athlete. You might not have your kids now. I mean, I always feel like that as well, because I don't regret things because I feel like everything's a lesson, even though some of the things I've been through are horrendous. Yeah. Hence the fact I'm in trauma counselling. But I feel like.
Are you in trauma counselling? You've never mentioned it.
I feel like if I didn't have those things happen to me, would I be who I am now? Would I be where I am now?
Exactly, and that's the point I'm making.
It's that sliding door moment, isn't it? It's scary to think
Sliding Doors is a great movie. If you've never seen it, that is definitely the best way.
I was so freaked out to find out it was the guy from Bread that wrote that and like directed it. I was like, what? Yeah, Joey.
That's a brilliant. No, but anyway, it's a brilliant film because it shows you what can happen in a split moment.
But there's so many films like that. There's so many.
That one's really good, though.
It is really, really good. Yeah. And I feel like that. You know, who knows if you'd have crossed the road and not met somebody, or do you know what I mean?
That butterfly effect of not doing something or doing something.
Yeah.
Sliding Doors is a great example because it's so visual on like, he misses the train or he doesn't miss the train, and how that changes.
But I am glad sometimes that like I didn't get a job I went for, which is every job I've ever been for, or I didn't get like something that I wanted because I've then gone on to do something kind of more meaningful. Because no matter what I try and do, I always end up advocating for people and just like trying to tell stories of underrepresented groups and trying to like do what you kind of do, really make things better. I try and fix things and make things better.
So again, we're going back to this, how we were brought up with every single TV show going, you need to do good for people and you need to be the better, bring betterment to everybody. I don't know if it's the way we've been brainwashed as we've come up. I don't know.
It's not a bad way to be brainwashed,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing at all. I'm just saying,
unless you get burnt out, because that's all you ever do.
I do feel like we're clearly a certain type of person, aren't we? So that we want
You're talking about it's like we exist as one.
actually a certain type of people.
There we go.
So we are though. We want the best for other people. We have that attitude that just because you're a winner doesn't make me a loser. Like that. Like I want other people to succeed. I want other people to do well. And just because they're doing well doesn't mean that I'm not doing well.
Exactly. Yeah.
So surround yourself with people who want the best for you.
Yeah.
It makes a difference. So thank you very much for listening to us waffle on about we had a script and we didn't stick to it. So
We semi did.
we tried to stick to the structure, and I think we do talk a lot, don't we? But thank you for listening to whatever we just did. I can't remember. We've been on for so long now. Thank you so much for spending any time with us. If you enjoyed this episode, please send us one of your weirdest non-transferable skills in a voice note or carrier pigeon. Thanks very much. See you next time.
What do we do if somebody actually sends a carrier pigeon?
If I got a carrier pigeon, I'd just be like, what the hell do I do with this?
Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks a lot, and we'll see you next time.
Bye. This podcast was brought to you by Nicola Foley and Buzzsprout. Music from Zapsplat.